I think it's time to have that uncomfortable conversation. Don't you think? Don't you think it's time when you lose a series at home to the freaking Chicago White Sox, who now, just so you know, they're not the worst team in baseball, because after this 2 of 3 against the Cardinals, they're now tied for the worst record in baseball with the Colorado Rockies. I did just look that up. I looked up a couple stats here. First of all, I want to hear from you guys. Man, just an ugly, ugly frickin' series. How about we'll start. Let's start with Saturday night. Well, Saturday day, which turned into Saturday night. First of all, could you imagine you are sitting there with the game about to end, 9th inning, 2 outs, and then you have to wait out a 3-hour rain delay, which then the game comes back and it ends in 2 minutes? Was it a minute? Was it 2 minutes on a terrible call from CB Bucknor, which we're kind of used to from him by now. Is he the second worst ump, by the way, besides Angel Hernandez? I'd have to look that up. It seems like he's always in the mix, always mixing it up with Ollie the last couple years. And then today's game, so Matthew Liberatore pitched well. Let's give him credit there. We'll see how that goes. We'll see what they do with that spot. Steven Matt's hurt right now. And then Gio Gallegos just implodes. I watched the post game, and Ollie said he just doesn't look right. Velo's not there. The bite, the finish on his pitches isn't there. And this isn't coming from me. I think we can all see it, but even Ollie is saying this. So I think you can read into that. We're probably going to have an IL stint coming up for Gio. One of those, we joke about this in the past. Is it a fake IL stint, meaning he's bad and he has to figure things out? Probably feels like they're going in that direction. You could have some shoulder tightness, hit the IL, try to reset. He looks really, really bad right now. But I think overall, look, Cardinals are in last place again. They're just not good. That's the thing. The Cardinals aren't a good baseball team. Their record, by the way, against teams with a 500 or better record is now, it's 7-12. That record changes when teams go above or below 500. So they're 7-12 versus teams with a 500 or above record. That's pretty bad. And then you play essentially the worst team in all of baseball at home this weekend, and you win the first game of the series, and you lose the series to the daggum Chicago White Sox and John Brebbia and Tommy Pham and Paul DeYoung, some former Cardinals, coming back and doing some damage against their former team. Look, it's still early, and in me saying that, I'm not making excuses. But I feel like it's the time for bold statements to be made, because I just look at this team and this organization, and I just don't feel like they're a well-run organization anymore. And that's about the worst thing you could say about a sports team. And I hate to say it. It brings me no joy in saying that. Now, I joke around on Twitter and make some jokes because, hey, what else are you going to do when a team loses a frickin' series to the worst team in baseball, basically? But I'm thinking big picture. Just look, not just this series, but this year, last year, go back 5-6 years, whatever it is. And I'll just go off the top of my head. I mean, here's a team that hasn't won a playoff series since 2019. They had an awful year last year. They're mid at best right now. Doesn't look like they'll make the playoffs this year. It looks more like a last year situation where there could be a sell-off. Now, of course, there's a couple months to get back into the season, and I'm not saying they can't do that. And the reason they'll be able to do that is because there's so many wild card spots that I didn't even look, but I looked a couple days ago, and there were only like 2 games out, 2 or 3, whatever it is, and I didn't look today. But still, with all these wild cards, like, you have to be really crappy to not be within striking distance of a wild card spot. But just, I mean, I mentioned no playoff series wins since 2019. Do the Cardinals win trades or lose trades more often in the last 5-7 years? I think it's fair to say they lose most trades. Do the Cardinals make smart free agent signings in the last 5 to 7 years? And look, this year, I mean, Sonny Gray, pretty dang good. I think, look, Lance Lynn wasn't good the other day. Kyle Gibson's been really nice. But I'm talking big picture. I'm going back here. And if you're saying I'm going too far back for the Dexter Fowlers and the Mike Leakes and the Matt Carpenter extension, Brett Cecil, whatever it is, do they usually spend their money wisely? And I would say the answer is no in the last 5 to 7 years. Do they win trades in the last 5 to 7 years? No, they don't win trades. Do they give away freaking all-star talent, starting pitchers, all-star caliber, MVP vote getting outfielders? Yes, the list goes on and on and on. There's a million outfielders. You can go back to Alcantara and Zach Gallen and all that. And then also it just seems like players leave the Cardinals and get better. And it used to be the opposite. And I'm ringing off a bunch of negative things right now, but I think I'm being realistic. This didn't used to be the case for the Cardinals, and that's the thing. And it didn't used to be the case for John Mozeliak. He used to win every single trade, right? The Cardinals coaching staff used to have a competitive advantage. Players would come here in the Dave Duncan era, and these pitchers would get better when they came to the Cardinals. And I feel like now the opposite happens. Now players leave the Cardinals, and other teams seemingly are able to unlock their talent that the Cardinals weren't able to do. And then just look at it from a coaching staff standpoint. And it's not all on Ollie. And I've said a million times, I don't think Ollie deserved the extension. But whether it's what's going on with the hitting staff, I mean, how long does it take? And by the way, it's more on the players, just so everybody knows. Like, I blame the players way more than the coaching staff and Ollie. And really, all of this comes down to the front office. It all comes down to Mo and his guys. I just feel like the Cardinals have really fallen off. And, I hate to say that. I don't think they're a well-run organization anymore. And it's just one of those things where I said this the other day on the podcast with Brendan Schaefer, low-hanging fruit. And this is maybe the biggest indictment of the Cardinals. I no longer offer them the benefit of the doubt that they know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the past, if the Cardinals made a decision, I would go, yeah, but you know what? The Cardinals are really, really freaking smart. They're a really smart, well-run baseball organization. They know what they're doing. But I feel like I no longer offer them the benefit of the doubt. Over the last couple of years, they've made so many head-scratching decisions and bad PR moves. And I'm not trying to bring up everything from last year, but even the Ollie extension, I understand why they did it, but it was very tone-deaf. He certainly didn't deserve it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Comment, like, subscribe. It's pretty ugly. It's pretty ugly out there. I also feel like, we're at a point where the Cardinal fans, I think, really get it. And I was kind of joking, but also I felt like the Cardinal fans, I felt like they really overreacted the first game of the season against the Dodgers when, an inning in, people are already bitching. But the more I think about it, I feel like you guys are right, because we joke about the BFib and all that, but the St. Louis Cardinal fans are the smartest fans in baseball. They care about baseball more than any other fan base. And you know what? They kind of knew this was the team. I'm not saying like 4 games under 500. Maybe they get back to 500. Maybe they win 80 games, 82. I have no clue. Maybe they win 75 games. I have no freaking idea. But I think Cardinal fans knew that this team was nothing special. And that's very fair to say. This team was nothing special. They weren't special last year. And the Cardinal organization basically has lowered the expectations for this storied baseball team to the point that now I guess we're supposed to be excited about being in the hunt for one of the 47,000 wild card spots, right? People aren't going to the games. You know, Bernie had a really good tweet earlier about how the Cardinals basically, I think he used the word rotting. You know, the organization has started to rot. And the fact that they basically sell you on nostalgia. And then the old guys. That's true as well. It is. Look, the Cardinals have a great history, and that's one of the reasons we love the Cardinals. But at some point, you got to stop talking about Waino, Yachty, Albert, you know, bobbleheads with Adam and his dog, which, you know, it's easy to make fun of that, especially Pooch's in the park weekend. And I made the joke on Twitter. It's kind of a dog shit weekend, not just because Pooch is in the park. What'd you think of that? Is that a stupid joke? It was stupid. But you know what? You have to laugh. You have to laugh when things are so bleak right now. I don't know. Ollie in the post games, you guys watch that? He just seemed pretty, I don't want to say defeated, but it was more like, dude, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? My guys aren't hitting. And again, I don't think Ollie deserved the extension at all. I've said that since it happened. To me, this had to be a prove-it year for Ollie Marmol, but still, it's way more on the front office and John Mozeliak than it is Ollie. Big picture. That being said, I cannot even explain why the Cardinals offense is this bad. I have no idea. I cannot explain how all these guys suck. I can't explain that. But I do think, and I've said this before, but just the trend line is very poor. Clearly, John Mozeliak has said that after 2025, that's going to be his last year. Bill DeWitt Jr. is never going to fire John Mozeliak because he looks at him as another son, and I get that. But and I don't know if they speed up the process, you know, this winter. I would think they would name the successor either way. But I will say this for the third or fourth time I've said this. The Cardinals need to go in a different direction. They have to go outside of the organization. And I'm including Chaim Bloom as somebody who's outside the organization, even though he's in the organization right now, because the Cardinals model is currently broken. The Cardinal way is broken. The way they do business on the field, off the field isn't working. And so you need to bring in a new set of eyes, somebody from a different organization to shake things up. And again, I'm including Chaim Bloom because he's only been here a year and he's not one of these guys that's been in the organization for a long time. So he brings a fresh perspective. All right, that's all I got. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Is it fair to say, is it rock bottom? It feels like rock bottom, even though last year was rock bottom. What's their record? Are they 15-19? I mean, there's clearly time to run it back and get back in the mix, but I don't feel like they will. I just don't think this team is that good. And I was going to conclude, but I did look up, you know, the offense is like 28th or 29th in baseball in OPS and runs. So basically the second or third worst offense, whatever it is. Now even the ERA for the team is middle of the pack. The starter ERA, it is like a full run better than last year. Baseball pitching as a whole across the league is better. But, I mean, the starters are a full run better, almost. I think it's like 4.12 this year. It was like 5.06, whatever it is. It's close to a full run better starters-wise. The bullpen was amazing early, and the top end of the bullpen is really good. But now you're starting to see a bunch of cracks. Look, Gio is just bad. I promise you, he's going to go on the IL tomorrow. And now Liberatore, you're going to take him out of the pen. We'll see what happens there. So, I don't know. I feel like I've talked enough. We're pushing 15 minutes here. I feel like that's all I got to say. So let me know what you think. Vent on this Sunday. Comment, like, subscribe. The Cardinals are in bad shape. As the kids say, the Cardinals are down bad. Do you guys like the Tony La Russa transition lenses? Did they start to get darker as this video progressed? And now do you yearn for the Tony La Russa days, the Dave Duncan days? Pretty bad right now. See ya.